today's video, I want to go a little bit deeper into Mizrak and Olrox's relationship in Castlevania Nocturne. So if you haven't seen Castlevania Nocturne, it's a Netflix original series, and it's a continuation of the original Castlevania series that they had originally put out on Netflix. So if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it first, then come back so we can discuss. For those of you guys who have not been following me or just haven't really been tuned in, I'm a big fan of the Castlevania series, and specifically Mizrak and Olrox are my favorite couple, I guess you could say. So I just want to talk about them, go in a little bit more detail about the relationship, and I'm definitely interested in hearing what your thoughts and comments are. This is definitely going to be just my opinion and how I'm perceiving their relationship, so don't take what I'm saying as factual. I am a filthy casual, so I only know Castlevania Nocturne, like the animated series. So I played like one Castlevania game as a kid on the Nintendo 64, and I think I played as Sypha, which is so telling. So yeah, I'm not that too well versed on the Castlevania lore, but forgive me if I get anything wrong. So yeah, let's get into today's video. So Mizrak and Olrox, they are a couple. They've been together since season 1. Well, I would like to say off and on, because Mizrak he's so damn indecisive about what he wants. I feel like I dragged him in the last video, and I don't mean to come across that way. Like, I really like Mizrak, I do, but I just find him frustrating, because I dated a guy like him years ago, very much the type of guy that was like involved in the church, and he would hit me with the, oh, I'm conflicted, or like, I don't know, he would just like love bomb me, and then, you know, anytime we got done doing stuff, he'd feel guilty about it, and then I'd have to pay for it afterwards. So Mizrak is kind of triggering, especially because my ex was a very handsome man, and Mizrak is clearly a very handsome man as well. So I can see why Olrox is, you know, ignoring the obvious red flags, because Mizrak is a walking red flag with contradiction. But that's not why you guys are here. You guys are here for the dissection of their relationship. So when we're first introduced to them, there's clearly a physical attraction there. Like, I think even from the jump, they wanted each other. And I remember like that scene with them, I guess, feeling each other out, wrestling. It was like a pseudo interrogation. I just thought that was hilarious. Like, at first I was like, okay, maybe Olrox doesn't want to kill him. He's just trying to get some information. But it was almost like they were dancing. And then of course Olrox hit Mizrak with the, hey, this was fun. Not sure why you're working with the abbot to create night creatures, but this was fun. We should do this somewhere more comfortable. And then of course, you know, we get the reveal that they have been bumping uglies. And that also begs a question, because the way my mind works, this is like the French Revolution. Don't ask me what time or what year this was, 1700s, 1800s. I gotta Google it. Don't remember. School for me was like almost 20 years ago. I wonder if the room stank. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if I know it's kind of like vulgar to like even talk about this kind of stuff, but like I can't imagine what gay sex smelled like back in the day. So that being aside, because it's animation and they want to sell a fantasy, the sex had to have been good. So we're treated to that. And then as soon as they get done, Mizrak goes on this whole, there's only one god and vampires are evil and this blah 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, so maybe he's just going to be, you know, a jump off for Olrox. Like, Olrox, maybe he's not taking him seriously. And then we get a little bit more backstory about Olrox and his previous lover, the one that Julia Belmont killed. Apparently, he was very similar to Mizrak, very passionate. You know, we love the passionate types, you know, but very passionate and very much didn't take no for an answer type. So I guess that's Olrox's his type. He likes those type of personalities. But apparently he turned him into a vampire as well. And what really made me think that Mizrak actually might be falling in love with Olrox is he asked him, so do you love me? Like, since you love me, are you going to turn me? And then Olrox is like, of course not. I don't love you. I'm not going to turn you. You know, stuff like that. So I'm like, all right, Mizrak, like, you're kind of clocking your own tea. You're acting as if you're so disgusted by Olrox and you're like repressed by him. But you want him, and you want him bad. And I think what really frustrates me, and I think all of us, for the gays who have dealt with like DL Trade, the church queens, you know, or just dealing with any man who's just not being honest about who they are and what they want, it's very frustrating when that person that you're clearly in a sexual relationship with and you're clearly dicking down and or getting dicked down by act as if you can't call them out on their lies. Like, I feel like if you're gonna be delusional, at least be honest with the person that you are engaging in these activities with, because that should be the safest person you should be able to have a conversation with and just be honest with. And unfortunately, we were not treated to those pillow talk conversations. So anytime we see Mizrak, he's just angry and lashing out at Olrox, and I'm just like, girl, a lot of this would hit harder if you weren't engaging in these type of activities with Olrox, but it just seems like you are self-hating and just angry. And I want to give Mizrak some grace. He's super devout, he has his faith, and maybe Olrox is stirring things in him that he's confused about, and he just doesn't know how to address them, hence why he's having like this inner turmoil, and why he feels the need to constantly remind Olrox that you're just a vampire, you're just a creature, you don't have any soul, which is so And I remember at the end of season 1 being so mad at the things that Mizrak was telling him. Like, Olrox saved him from dying, and instead of Mizrak saying thank you, now I get it, Mizrak is kind of like the noble type, so he wanted to kind of go out swinging with the crew. I get that. But Olrox was clearly like, hey, like, I don't want you to die because I don't see a future without you. And Mizrak kind of like disregarded all that and was like, yeah, you have no soul, you're a coward, and like ran off. And I'm just like, Mizrak, excuse you? Like, did you not hear a word that he said? Like, Olrox is very much showing you how he feels about you through his actions, and every opportunity that you get, you just kind of word vomit on him and just give him verbal lashings, and I just don't think it's fair. So when we got into season 2, of course I wanted them to work it out, but I just wasn't sure like where they were going to go, because they didn't end on the best of note. And I feel like in season 2 we got a more mature version of Mizrak, and I know this is a Mizrak and Olrox video, but a lot of my vitriol and animosity is towards Mizrak and that perfect jawline of his. So in season 2 he seems more mature, and I think there's an awareness factor of his hypocrisy, because Maria clocked him real good when he tried to swing that sword against Tara. He was like, no, vampires have no soul, she's evil. And Maria was like, girl, weren't you just helping the abbot create night creatures like literally 30 minutes ago? Girl, please. And it gagged him. So I think like I love that the entire cast is kind of like aware, like, Miss Ma'am, get it together, like, we know your tea, it's okay. And yeah, so he just seems a bit more aware, and I did like the conversation he had with Olrox when Olrox was like, hey man, shit's about to hit the fan, I'm about to bounce, you're more than welcome to come with me. And Mizrak was like, well, I don't want to live a life running away from Ursabet. And I thought that was real, like, okay, that's fair. And I do like the part where he let him know, like, hey, I hope that you find peace. And I do feel like Mizrak was being very genuine there, and you can kind of see like the heartbreak, because he loves him some Olrox. And I feel like I jumped like a good portion, but there was also another scene where Queen Drolta was annihilating the French Revolution. Like, she was I'm like, dang, Drolta, was this necessary? Anyway, she was annihilating them all, and Mizrak, for some odd reason, thought he could fight her, take her on by himself with his sword. And of course, Olrox comes in and calms him down, and he like falls apart into Olrox's arms. And again, I'm just like, if we were privy to the pillow talk between these two, I'm sure it would be fire. Because the way he just like broke down in Olrox's arms, I'm like, see, and there you are, Mizrak. There's the real you, that sensitive, vulnerable side that we need to see more of, because we don't get that often. And I just really liked how Olrox was there to comfort him and really kind of snap him back into reality. Like, hey, you're just one person. Drolta will kill you. And it just kind of shows that there is a mutual respect between the two of them. And Mizrak, even though verbally he says the things that he says, I still think that he's also a man of action. His actions speak way louder than his words. I just personally wish that they would match the words sometimes, because like, I can't imagine dealing with a man like Mizrak, especially as fine as he is. It would drive me crazy. It would drive me absolutely insane, because the animators ate when they conceptualized him and started drawing him, I'm like, oh, they ate. So fast forward to like the big shebang, and basically our boy Mizrak, he dies. Well, he's going to die because he gets stabbed. And Olrox again saves the day, snaps him up, ends up in his room. And obviously, Mizrak again has that moment of just honesty about being scared about death. And he actually mentioned that when the abbot died, he asked, hey, did he face death with courage? Did the devil show up? You could tell he has a fear of dying, and although he has his faith, and I think it's a natural human instinct, the fear of death, I think, is overwhelming. And I love that they showed that. I don't think that makes his faith anything less than what it is. I think that I do believe that he's a true believer. But I thought it was really awesome for them to kind of show, like, even though he's so faithful and devout, like, he's also scared. And Olrox ends up turning him into a vampire. And I said this in my last video, I'm all about the consent of it all. I really wish Mizrak was like, yeah, I'm gonna be with you forever, turn me, just to get that verbal confirmation. But I'm assuming that the dialogue that he did have was him giving Olrox the A-OK. And my question is, will they actually have a healthy relationship now? And I almost see this as a yes. I think that Mizrak Mizrak becoming a vampire and just accepting who he is probably synonymous to like his sexuality. I don't know. Again, I'm not that deep of a person to kind of figure out the hidden meaning of things, but I feel like there is some type of correlation between you have this Catholic devout person who's supposed to have be abstinent and whatnot, and they're clearly engaging in homosexual acts with a vampire. So clearly there's some hypocrisy there. But I think now that he's a vampire and he's able to stand in it, and he's the very being that he thought had no soul, and now he is that being, I'm hoping that we'll get a very chill and mellowed out Mizrak, and not as angry. Like, I almost feel like him becoming a vampire is like him coming out in a sense. I also like that, like, Castlevania never really, I don't think they ever even used the word gay. I mean, I like the fact that it's just like a relationship that's being played out. I also thought, and I know sometimes when I'm talking I bounce ideas, but I also like how Richter Belmont clocked his T too, and he was so like nice about it. He was basically like, I never understood that vow of chastity, it never really sat right with me. And then you have Mizrak literally sweating because, girl, we know your tea. We know damn well you're not abstinent. You and that Miss Olrox, yeah, we know y'all getting it on. And I feel like that the universe in Castlevania Nocturne, even the first season, I feel like when it came to like LGBTQ themes, they never made that a big deal. And I don't want to go on a side rant, but forget it, I will. I really appreciate it when media approaches LGBTQ themes, or even like the diversity of it all, as just like the characters and them telling a story, and it's not being like this big statement, it's just who they are. I think that the world would be a better place if we approached storylines like that, because it gives all walks of life, especially people who are fans of the series, some type of like lens or bird's eye view of some of our experiences. And not to be funny, but Mizrak and Olrox is a clear example of clearly an out gay male who's dealing with a DL trade, who's stuck in the closet, who mainly church queens. I said this in my last video. You're like, what's a church queen? A church queen is basically someone who's like very religiously devout, and they're conflicted with their identity, or just maybe they're battling with their sexuality, and any chance that they get to kind of reaffirm their beliefs, they're gonna beat you over the head with the Bible. And Mizrak gives that like to the T, which is why I am so damn triggered, because I dated a man like that fresh out of college. It was unhinged, and I dealt with that for almost 2 years. Never again. Yeah. So I'm definitely going to be doing an Olrox video sometime this week. I feel like Mizrak deserves one more video from me, because I feel like the first one, I don't know why he just gets so much vitriol from me. I want to give him a video where I'm giving him nothing but 10s because he does have a lot of redeeming qualities. I'm just kind of irritated on the relationship aspect of things because Homeboy just makes it way too hard sometimes. But then again, it wouldn't be a great story if we didn't have like some type of conflict and something for Olrox to do. Because let's be clear, like if Olrox didn't have Mizrak, like what would he be? I mean, Olrox is a different discussion because he does have other things going on, but his relationship with Mizrak definitely made it had me tuned in. So let me know what you guys think. I definitely like doing videos. First of all, I'm an anime person, but the animes that I watch, you don't really see a lot of LGBTQ representation. Now, I will say Dragon Ball is very covert with their LGBT representation. Miss Frieza, Zarbon, Whis. Who else? Those are the ones that I can think of. Naruto, you can't tell me that Might Guy and Kakashi are not lovers. So I know that there's other big name animes that, you know, they're sprinkled in there. Oh, Ikkaku and Yumichika from Bleach. You can't tell me that they're not in a relationship, please. So, anyways, I really like anime, but I also, because of just who I am and how I live my life, it is refreshing to see those type of characters in media, especially vampires of color, mainly Olrox. I don't know what Mizrak is. He gives me light-skinned black man energy, but he's definitely not black. But he gives me mixed. Something about him is very like mixed light-skinned energy. But anyways, it's just nice to see that in media, and I think the people behind Castlevania have just done an incredible job. And there are people on the internet who are just so upset and distraught about it, and I'm just like, get over it. It's not that big of a deal. If you like the source material, go read the source material. Go play the games. This is an adaptation, and I'm so sorry if, especially when it comes to Annette. See, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. I go on rants, but when it comes to Annette, the vitriol and the hatred and the anger that I see towards her is just so exhausting, and people will come up with any excuse as to why they hate her character. But if they would have switched her skin tone to 100 shades lighter and gave her Miss Mama blonde hair, they wouldn't have a problem with it. If Mama was from Russia, they wouldn't care. But because she's from Haiti, because she has dreads, and because she's darker skinned, oh, you're ruining her. Oh, you guys just are always trying to bait. Shut up. And she looks sickening in season 2. I'm gonna give her a video too. I just had to get my boys out the way. So I don't want to turn my channel into a Castlevania Nocturne channel, but there will be a ton of Castlevania content because that's what I'm watching right now, and that's what I want to talk about. Let me know if I missed anything, or if you guys need clarification on some of my talking points, or if there's like a particular character that you guys want me to try and do a deep dive. I am not that channel that does these deep, intensive deep dives, mainly because I don't have time for it, and the editing, it's really the editing for me. I just don't have the patience for it. Maybe we'll get there, because I do find those type of channels who do that entertaining. I actually watch them to help me go to sleep. So maybe we'll get there, but promise the next video will be dedicated to Olrox. I will minimize any Mizrak slander in that video. I'll try to focus just on Olrox and what he's done in season 2 and what I liked and what I want to see more of. So that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are they still your favorite couple, or have they been eclipsed by Miss Richter, oh my god, Richter and Annette? Because baby, I misjudged Richter, and he let me have it in season 2, and he's earned a spot at the cookout for sure. So maybe I'll give them a video soon too. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and like always, have a great rest of your day, have an awesome week, and just look forward for the next video.